Hello, and welcome to Out of My Mind Box, a podcast about intuitive eating and mental health stories. Today I have with me Madelaine Pretorius. She is currently studying towards a qualification in pastoral narrative therapy, and she's joining us today to share with us her mental health story and what she's been through over the last few years. Madelaine, would you like to say hi?
Hi there. I'm glad to be part of the story. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Cool. Glad to have you. All right. So as we're talking about mental health, we're never going to get past not talking about the parents. So my first question to you is there a history of mental illness in your family? You don't have to be specific if you want to protect people and that sort of thing, but just as a general idea.
Yes, definitely. My grandma, mom on my father's side was in the institution for a while. My father's brother once almost committed suicide, and it is definitely for the family try.
Okay.
But it's not a general discussion in family because we call it a staatsgeheim. It's almost like a government
Secret.
thing. You don't
Yeah.
talk about it. I'm the only one talking out, So, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like, it sounds like that there was a lot of stigma about it. So even though there was mental health issues in the family, it wasn't spoken about. Yeah, okay. And tell me, how would your parents describe what you are doing for a living?
Um, they supportive of what my heart's desire is, but it's not the I can't make money out of it. I can actually, if I see a customer, then I can actually ask for donations, but I can't ask a fee. But
Okay.
sorry, but in case I actually feeling that I'm wasting my time and money. I have sponsors, so my money is not used for that. But they said I actually must go into a line that can actually bring me some money. So
Yeah,
that is the. But I do understand why I'm doing it. Because they knew I was different from day one. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, that's great. So they support you, but they still want you to survive.
Yeah,
That's basically
yeah,
the gist of
definitely.
it, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, isn't that the struggle for a lot of people is, are you going to do a work that just gets you a living, or are you going to do the work that is for your life, the work that really makes you tick? And
Yes,
sometimes that doesn't come with the money.
exactly. Yeah.
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 Okay, so I'd like you to tell me a bit of your story. I've read through your story that you sent me, and I'd like you to share with our listeners a bit about what hurdles did you personally face with your physical and mental health, because it went hand in hand for you. And how did you
Yes.
overcome them? And maybe if you can tell us about the time that you were at rock bottom in facing these mental health and physical issues, please tell us a little bit.
Okay. All right. Mentally, I going to sort mentally and then physically.
Okay.
Mentally, I've been diagnosed with major depression in 2007.
Hmm.
After losing my baby due to the miscarriage at 12 weeks, and my fiance walking out of me. So it was
Oh.
kind of bad.
Mm.
I've been on medication, which I later stopped because of the severe side effects.
Okay.
In 2016, I have encounter with, they call it agoraphobia. So you actually like getting panic attacks when you're in the crowd,
Okay.
or any like in Pick and Pay when it's a busy time, like that. And they actually give me some medication again to conquer that. And with that, I actually getting the panic attacks. And the state hospital psychology nurse and doctor prescribed me this medication and also counseling. The counseling only frustrated me because every time I go to the doctor, you actually wait there for 3 to 4 hours, like ducks in a row of all your um, mental ill buddies. Just because there's always a stigma.
Yeah.
There was always be. And now you're sitting there, you're discussing with each other your problems, and then she comes and she's only seeing you for 15 minutes. And
Mm.
every time I had to see her, I had to start my story all over again. Like, really? So that was really not helpful, and I stopped going. But
Okay.
I actually kept on using my medication, fluoxetine, and but there was not a lot of side effects. But and she gave me a relaxing and breathing exercise, actually made me more nervous than actually helping. So, yeah, she got me all wrong that way.
Oh
But
no.
any case. And in 2018, 2 years back now, I wrote with the help of a anonymous sponsor of the pastoral narrative school, therapy school. It's a very expensive course, so it's about 18,000 a year. And I
Okay.
didn't have that money.
Yeah.
And yeah, somehow it was to reject for that. From I don't know who, but I understand thank you.
Mm.
And it actually changes my way. I've been looking at my problems. And I was able to take control of my life again. I also learned how to cope with bad days. I still have bad days, and I still have general anxiety disorder, but I know how to cope with that, you know. And but my mind, my sorry, my problem at the moment is they call it ICU PTSD
Hmm.
because I was because what I've been through last year. I'll give a little short recap because it's a long story actually. Um, I have ICU PTSD, and no one in South Africa understand that because you don't came out alive out from ICU after 6 weeks in coma and really to tell your story and they
Mm.
I'm a one and kind um, case in South
Situation, yeah.
Africa, but I've actually connected with a guy in England, and he connected me with a group in England, so and in America, so overseas is more afforded. I don't know.
Progressive. All right.
And then physically, I'm currently facing, as I say, the ICU PTSD because I've gone through early 2019, little more than a year ago. It was a long stay story, but it's actually part of my testimony that I really want to share within churches and um, seminars and wherever people can actually invite me and I will go because it's such a unique story. But
Hmm.
in short, um, I've actually developed severe jaundice. And I found out the jaundice was caused by gallstones. So they actually sent me to Cape Town to Pretorius Hospital to have an advanced but a safe procedure. But it's only like few hospitals in South Africa doing that procedure. They actually
Okay.
scoop out the gallstones through your mouth.
Mm.
They actually put you on a anesthetic and I actually work, so there's no open cuts or anything.
Okay. Okay.
So it was, I said, yeah, fine. And getting back, I was still really feeling sick. And I said, okay, fine. my gallbladder had to be removed and so on. And George Hospital gave me till my, when I said that this will be safe to operate because my delirium stage must be at 3, between 1 and 3 at points. And mine was 2,800. But I had to bring it off. That's where the yellow came from jaundice.
Mm-hmm.
So because otherwise I actually can't open the eye and it will actually invest my whole body. So they actually said to me, okay, they're going to operate soon and so on. And long story short, I went, what we didn't realize, there was a doctor's mistake. And that guy did the thing to my mouth. He punched a hole in my gall tooth. And that gooey stuff gonna stay on my liver. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody realized that. So
Mm-hmm.
I got an abscess of my liver. And
Mm-hmm.
as I got no medication or anything for that, my body got into septic shock.
Mm-hmm.
And which turned into full-blown septicemia. And I've actually stopped breathing in throat and I gotten through and my mom and dad came through and I said, okay, I gave the plan to cut down and when I arrived in cut down, I stopped breathing all over again and I was pronounced literally dead. The machines were running my
Mm.
life for me.
Sure.
And when my parents actually arrived in cut down, they said, oh, how old I am? They said 45. The doctor said, well, you guys had to go for 55 years because she's gone. We
Mm.
are cutting pick up the machines whenever you are ready. You can arrange everything and all that stuff. And
Sure.
it was very, very active. And miraculously, they actually invented the antibiotic in America because British is, is like a testing hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
They tested the antibiotics in the laboratory on different other sports, but not on human beings. And I decided, can I actually, can I be the guinea pig? You know,
Mm-hmm.
because there's nothing to lose. And I'm on it, I said, yes. And as you actually read in my story, it's so, you can't explain it. It is really God's hand
Mm.
working with me. And
Mm.
after 3 weeks, I woke up. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat. I couldn't go to the toilet. Um,
Mm.
all your body function, I have nothing. So
Mm.
I had to learn to do that all over again. And that was kind of really stressful, traumatic for me because my body and my brain didn't talk. So my muscles is moving, but my brain don't know what they do. So
Mm.
you can't say, put your feet up and walk to your full steps. You can't do it.
Mm.
You think, oh shit, I really want to walk. But between there and your body and
There's a
there's
disconnect.
no communication.
Mm.
So
Mm.
it didn't connect. And after 16 weeks, I was released out of the hospital. And 4 weeks after that, I had to return and get the gallbladder removed and everything. So that's fine. The current physical issues I'm struggling with because I've actually died 2 times in within my coma time.
Mm-hmm.
My medium term memory is a bit gone.
Mm-hmm.
They and I'm getting blackouts now, but I think it's because you one of our valves don't work. But it's
Mm-hmm.
all the consequences of last year. And
Mm-hmm.
so mentally, it actually puts a lot of post-traumatic stress on you because it's not a normal thing to go through. But
Mm.
yeah, and your other question was the resources, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Were,
don't,
were there some resources that helped you in that time?
okay. Um, you know, friends, family, and my students, the people who are studying with me, and even the lecturers, they were so supportive. The
Mm.
doctors, because it's a state hospital, the doctors in Pretorius was super nice because I'm one of those guinea pig rats to be honest with me, you know. But doctors here in Mosulbai don't understand what I'm really going through. So it's a bit of a, when I say I don't feel well today, they say, well, I don't know, especially your cat. Yeah, but then I actually read my hospital job, and then she actually, I said, well, it's the first time we handling that, so we can't give you an answer. It will take 3 to 5 years to feel like you feel, and if you recover that, that is what your maximum recovery will be. So, but I actually believe I'm beating the odds. So yeah, I'm walking until giving. Yeah, I've driving my scooter bike, so which is totally abnormal, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm yeah,
Yeah, I must say that the most shocking part of the story is the fact that you actually died. I mean, not a lot of people can say that and talk about these near death or actual death experiences. I'm interested to know, do you have any recollections from those experiences? Maybe the waking up or anything like that?
um yes. I remember in as you I'm at the theology background, so I know these three stages as human beings. All right, you have your body, and
Hmm.
then your soul, and then you got your the heavenly realm.
Okay.
I was I was on my way to it, okay, but I was in a. I remember seeing like a movie and hearing a conversation
Mm.
with somebody talking at the back of me. I didn't see the face. So if you your people don't accept my religion, then I'm going to kill you. So that is obviously decided. And then I said, no, I won't because I am a Christian, you know. And then it was 4 times. And I, there's a lot of other stuff that happened. Um, Seeing things, yeah, like, there was like um, one scene I've actually seen is like my blood is being poured out, alright? And I didn't know anything.
Hmm.
Remember that. I was after 6 weeks. And then I see green and yellow and white, yeah, white and blue and white. And the last time, my blood actually goes through red. Maybe the doctor says it's fine. I didn't know what was happening. And what my, the doctors in the hospital report also say, the first time in their life, they see, when I actually did a dilating machine thing, I actually took out all my blood and I put it back again in that machine. It's like,
Okay.
it's, yeah, it's not like
Yeah, that's
normal
a, they
dilating.
call it a blood transfusion.
Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
basically. And the first time in their life, they saw that someone's blood come out black, totally
Sure,
black.
sure.
So I was totally black out. Big. So yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, it's really a crazy thing. And I really want to talk more about what I've actually experienced in life. And as I say, when I wake up, when I woke up there, it was I was alone. My mom and dad wasn't there. I had to come back to Moscow. It's only the sisters. I have no idea where I am and everything. But I have they say when you have the Lord near or you have a kind of peace beyond any understanding. And that's why I was
Mm.
scared from the injections and the procedures or whatever.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like terrified. There was a kind of peace in me.
Mm.
And I just knew I had to work with the doctors. And I just, sometimes I actually didn't even try, because I, you're also in a confusion state.
Mm.
You forget about the revision when you're really, really bad.
Mm.
I thought, yeah, I was actually praying 95% of the time, but I didn't. But the
Mm.
Lord still um, had other people praying for me and all that stuff. And
Mm.
He actually healed me in that. And He gave
Yeah.
me that peace of that surpasses all understanding. So, yeah, I can't, I couldn't make it without it. So,
Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. It looks like you have been through quite an ordeal over the last year or so. But
yeah,
your studies towards this qualification in pastoral narrative therapy, you started this before the hospital incident, is that right?
yes, yes,
Cool. So
yeah,
tell
before.
me, how did or does your mental health affect your career path in terms of what you've decided to do with your life?
Being through that trauma and so on, and doing the trauma course and so on, I just decided, when I was in Cape Town, I had no mental support in the hospital. And when I got out and I see I actually alright to go through with my studies, I decided there's so much hurt outside of the world. And you so much, many people that need someone to talk. Not even you don't give you advice. You just need to listen,
Yeah.
and that's the main thing. And I've actually dedicated my life to it, And um, this I've actually with this lockdown, I've helped two people stop smoking that was smoking for 50 years.
Mm.
I'm going having a client on Saturday, a little girl that's been molested. So
Mm.
um, I, I don't have the qualifications to take her further, but I have the resources to actually refer her. But I'm
Yeah.
the first person she can go to and to cover her up,
Yeah. Yeah.
because when something happened to that at a child so young, they normally mix up a lot.
Mm.
But I can make a difference, and knowing that I can make a difference in someone else's life, it's like so much rewarding for me now.
I can imagine that that gives you a lot of purpose. It
Yeah,
makes you feel like your life has a purpose. If you could take the troubles that you've been through, and look at other people that are having similar or even different issues, and just
yeah,
give a helping hand where you can. So
yeah.
like for
I can't.
that little
I,
girl, you're just going to create a safe space for her, to
yes,
do whatever she needs to get through the hectic situation.
that is, and that is enough for me. If the Lord actually wants me to use me for something else or whatever, then it will be He will actually direct my footsteps. So I
Mm,
can't say what is my plans for the future because you have my plans in His hands. So
mm,
even with the COVID situation now, I wasn't scared at all.
mm,
Because I'm a high risk person now
mm-hmm,
um, for the COVID. And I just say, what? And it's like, I don't know how old you are, but I'm now 47.
mm-hmm,
So for 47 years back and 9 months, when he created me, he written in 2019, she will survive that septicemia.
mm-hmm,
2020, there will be an epidemic, but she will survive that. And she will live to tell the story. And
mm,
you also you live to tell the story. that is actually a privilege to live through this epidemic because you can actually build your life story on that. And so you know what? Before
Mm,
COVID, I was like materialistic or I was like this. But after this, I'm actually living in simplicity.
mm,
Life is not about what you have, it's what you can do, and what you can give out of what you have. If you have a little, you can give a little. But if you
mm.
have a lot, you can give a lot. And
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. That is your thing you have to give. But it's not always money. It's your time, it's your love, and
Mm.
just being there. No.
Definitely, definitely. So I can definitely hear a strong sense of uh, sureness in your faith, in Christianity that you've got, and can see that that has helped you a lot along this journey. Tell me your thoughts about medication versus spirituality, like prayer or meditation or something like that, and how you think if it's one or the other, or if they need to work hand in hand. What are your thoughts on that?
Personally, I definitely agree that medication is needed also. Because
Okay.
the medication helps a different healing on a different part of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And religion, you also need your religion or your meditation or I have actually Muslim friends and I have actually a atheist friend that don't believe in anything. But she has also kind of couples. And
Yeah.
um, you have to use that
Mm.
and your medication to go on in life. Um, I was stupid at one time to leave on medication.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you have to use it. You will have some side effects, being nauseous or being shaky or all the different medications have different side effects. But
Mm.
there will be one that works for you. There's a whole range, I think there's 100 different kind of antibiotics.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think more than 100
So
even. You're right.
exactly. And some work for you, some don't. And
Yeah.
don't be down because something doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
It's not your problem. It's just that medication doesn't
Yeah.
work with you.
I think
Next
it's a
person,
thing of don't give up. Don't give up on trying different medications until you find what works for you.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 So yeah.
But I agree with you that the spiritual or religious, whatever your flavor is very important to combine with that medical treatment, because it is a mind and body connection thing. This whole mental
Mm.
health thing. So it's not just one or the other. Definitely. So this has been a really interesting year for everybody in the world. It's 2020 for those of you who are listening to this in later years. And we have just experienced or are experiencing the coronavirus epidemic. And our country, South Africa, was in lockdown, is still technically in lockdown, but just on a lesser restrictions level. And with everything that's been going on, what was the biggest surprise that you've had in the last few months that you didn't expect?
Okay. Medically or physically, my
I'd say
boyfriend ended up with,
I'd say mentally. So maybe an observation of how you handled the situation that you didn't expect.
okay. Um, I've actually been through of the from February. We had to rent out a home because we had to of cutting because financially we didn't cut. And we had to move into a caravan park.
Hmm.
And I had to start living as a camper.
Hmm.
And I didn't thought I will make the first month. I'm now
Really?
6 months. I'm now 6 months into the camping life,
Yeah.
and I'm getting through it. And I'm actually really surprised I'm doing what I did. And I've actually through so much um, in love with the nature.
Mhm.
I used to lie on my bed and check TV and do my studies, and I was never outside. Now,
Mm.
lunchtime, breakfast, lunchtime, and supper, we're eating outside. So
Mm.
that changes your life. And I didn't thought I would actually go there, but no, I'm
That's
kind of
very
proud of
interesting.
myself.
That's very
Yeah,
interesting. Also, because of the purely the level of comfort when you're living in caravan or camping style, is the comfort levels are a little bit lower usually. So
yeah,
you get used to being uncomfortable, and then when you get some luxury or you actually have a nice, warm blanket in your bed, I mean, I'm sure that can be much more enjoyable than it was before.
it is. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
100% right.
Absolutely. So on that note, we've come to the end of our interview, and I want to ask you the last question that I
Okay.
always ask my guests. And that is, what do you do to get out of your mind box? In other words, how do you relax, de-stress, and decompress?
Okay. This every day I'm feeding the campsite ducks and the birds and the geezers, and I'm actually being grandma now because one of the ducks got 14 babies.
Yeah.
So she actually came and showing her 14 babies to me. So it was really a big present. And then when I'm feeling stressed out, my cat is always there. I can pick her. Or I'm actually just, when I'm depressed or stressed out or anything, not feeling like it, I either take a bath with some bubble tea or do some coloring. I love coloring ink.
Coloring
From
in.
that was my cutting skills from when I was a little girl. I
Yeah.
didn't realize it. And looking now for what actually relaxes my mood, I started to color in again and I feel, now use all the bright colors and
Yeah.
the happy
And
colors,
it's so cool. They've got these coloring books for grown-ups now. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't just have to color in the old kids coloring in books.
yeah,
You can actually, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I must send you one. I've got quite a few adult
Oh,
coloring
wow.
books. Yeah, where
I
it's
would love
got
that.
interesting images and things and beautiful designs that you can go and fill in. We'll talk.
Yes, I would love that. And
Yeah.
the other thing is one a good coping skill, because as I say, still getting my connected result. So, and it's actually cool to invite you in as when you least expect it, you know.
Hmm.
When you go into the supermarket at the end of the month, you can draw yourself some money and you just buy your stuff. Then just suddenly, actually, you're in a panic mood and you have no idea where you are and at this moment. You don't know what your next step. You feel like everything is too much.
Mm.
And within the schools, I've learned um, that call is grounding. Or,
Grounding. Hmm.
yeah. So what you do is you take your five senses. You just wherever you are in a supermarket, I was just using the supermarket as an example now. And then I actually just turn around to the shelf, stand still, and I ignore all the people around me. So the people coming past me, they think, okay, I'm just looking at something on myself. It's fine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look weird.
Yeah.
But within that, I said, okay, fine. Um, what am I seeing? What am I hearing? When I'm seeing, okay, I see this bike of kind of bike bench is 14 rand. Yesterday it was 12 rand. Something like, I really have to think about what I'm looking at and seeing right now. What do I hear? I hear that naughty child in a that's crying for sweeties or chippies or whatever. What I smell? I smell the bakery, the fresh bread. Oh, it smells lovely. And then I always have a little sweetie in my bag, or the chocolate. So in that stage, I put it in my mouth and I said, okay, what do I taste? This mint or chocolate. well, I'm not a chocolate fan, I like chocolates, but I'm, sure, can you believe it? A woman and I eat chocolates.
Unheard.
Guys, I told you I was weird from start one. I was.
Now I believe you. Now that's all I needed to know.
And then what you feel, doing your 5 steps, immediately bring you back to the here and now. And
Mm,
then I actually look in my surroundings at that point. I've taken these items, what I still need, then I'm working towards it.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm spending like a half hour in a supermarket, but it's fine. You know, sometimes it's like I don't have to kind of stuck in 10 minutes and I'm out. But I don't feel um, stressed out because I'm having the panic attack. I know what to do. And
It's a very useful tool, I think, this
yeah,
grounding exercise. And maybe I'll find a version of it on the internet, and I'll put a link to it for everyone who listens to this or
yeah,
watches this, so that they can
yeah.
try it themselves as well the next time that they need to get out of a panic mode. Yeah.
And it really, I've actually introduced that speech to my mom 2 weeks ago. And
Mm-hmm.
the other day she admitted she had a panic attack also in a mall, and she didn't know where she is and and she done what I did, and
Mm.
she calmed down completely and finished it up what she
Yeah.
had to do. So,
That's stunning. Yeah, the power of the mind, hey?
yeah,
So you've still got a journey of healing to do going forward, but it
yeah.
looks like you are well on your way. And I'm really, really
Thank
happy
you.
that you made the time to share your story with me today. And I'll be sharing it with my audience so that everyone can get the benefit of the perspective. I think it was very interesting. I'd never heard of ICU PTSD before. So maybe there are some other people, if any of my listeners have had to do with that sort of thing, please do send me an email, get in touch with us, and I'll get you in touch with Madelaine as well. My email is anka@outofmymindbox.com. And that brings us to the end of the interview. Uh, Madelaine, thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you
Thank you
all the
so much.
best. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Uncle.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.